What'd you smell? Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick update on Olivia's hemangiosarcoma and also provide some extra information about the hemangiosarcoma diagnosis. So I do have another video that's really long, contains a lot of information, but over the last 8 months, I've been talking to more people than I can count about their dog's diagnosis and what they were told and what they were told for treatment options. And I'm very alarmed at the lack of information that people get and the decisions that they end up making without all the information. So real quickly, today is 8 months since Olivia's diagnosis. On July 14th, she collapsed, very weak, couldn't get up, gums a little pale. So we took her to emergency where she was diagnosed with hemangiosarcoma on the spleen. The hemangiosarcoma can be on other organs. I don't know anything about that. I only know about the ones on the spleen. It's a very aggressive, fast-growing tumor, pushes up against the spleen. There isn't enough room. It ruptures, causes internal bleeding. And that's how typically they pass away from this cancer. The prognosis is very, very bleak. I was told she had a few days, maybe 2 weeks if I was lucky. And it's been 8 months. And it turns out that's not as unusual as I thought. When she hit about the 5 month mark, I thought this is the biggest miracle ever. But it turns out there are people whose dogs have lived a year, over 2 years after the diagnosis. So what I've discovered when talking to people is that they get the diagnosis and are given so little information. Not in all cases. Some people got a lot more information than I got, and they're able to make better decisions and know what to expect. But a lot of people don't get that. The majority of people are told their life expectancy is about what Olivia's is. Some people with younger dogs, I think they get a lot more information because the younger dogs are more likely to be able to handle having their spleen removed and having chemo. She was 13 and a half. That wasn't going to happen. Some people are given any treatment options. And the worst thing I've heard is that people go in, get the diagnosis, and it's recommended that they euthanize their dog immediately. If that happens to you, please ask why. Because this isn't a cancer where they're just going to keep suffering. When they go into emergency, typically they feel like she did this pretty lousy. But they have internal bleeding, and if they recover from it, if it doesn't kill them, they go back to essentially being normal. Over the past 8 months, she's had a few bleeds that, kind of knocked her down for a day or so. But the rest of the time, she's been normal. She's, 8 months older. She's over 14, and she's shown more signs of aging. But she's been very happy these last 8 months, eating well, still wanting to go for walks. So if the vet says, you need to euthanize the dog, ask why. Maybe there's another reason aside from just having hemangiosarcoma of the spleen, but it is not something that you typically want to euthanize your dog right away from. They're going to go home and start feeling better, especially if you're given the herbs that we were given and that most people give to their dogs, although not everyone gets the opportunity or gets educated on that. So please, 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 I talked to quite a few people. It horrified me. They just went in, got the diagnosis, had their dog euthanized thinking they were preventing suffering, then did research and found out that most people's dogs, what time they have left, they feel pretty good and can live normal lives, which is a wonderful thing when you know your dog is going to pass at some point in the near future. You can just spoil them, take them to do whatever they want, give them all the treats they want, give them all the love they want, spend extra time with them. It is a blessing to have that while they're still feeling good. Please, please, please ask why if they say that. And a lot of people are not told anything to give their dogs differently. I was told to give the Chinese herb, I don't know how to pronounce it, Yunnan Bao or something like that. That one, I got a second opinion because I was given very little information too. And I'm really glad I went in and got a second opinion. When she was 3 weeks post-diagnosis, I said, I think this is wrong. That doctor said she'd be gone by now. And the second doctor I saw said, no, they can definitely live. She said she could possibly have a few months left, but not to get my hopes up. And, she talked about the herbs, and there is a lot of actual research showing that they can slow down the progression of the cancer and prevent the internal bleeding. And they have an emergency red pill in it. And I don't know how many people I've educated on what to look for and when to give the red pill. Do some research on it. I won't go into all that in this video. I'm trying to make it short. When they're experiencing internal bleeding, there's emergency red pill can save their lives. It saved her life. I don't know how many times now she's had bleeding, and yeah, the red pill has brought her back every time. So please, please educate yourself. Get a second opinion. There's a lot of other supplements people give. The doctor I saw for my second opinion said there really isn't any research proving that those other supplements work. People use turkey tail mushroom and a number of other things. Some people believe in making pretty extreme diet changes, and that makes a difference. Those are things I haven't done. I'm giving her what she wants to eat. And the vet I saw didn't recommend any of the other ones, but other people claim they're really great and do make a difference. She's feeling great. We just went out and did a nice little walk, and she's going to get a special treat for her 8 months today. Yeah, just do your research and join groups, support groups. I did, and people educated me, and now I'm educating other people. You don't need to rush the dog into the vet every time they have a bleed. You know, if you have the emergency pills, there's not much they can do at the vet. Keep them home and comfortable. And it really isn't the type of cancer where, in general, they don't just go downhill and get sicker and sicker like they do with most cancers. There are cases that I've heard like that their dog just seems to get worse and worse. But generally, they live pretty normal, healthy lives, which can really change what you want to do for treatment. So I just wanted to give that little update. Olivia's sound asleep on the floor. We just went for a nice walk. Gotta make her a sandwich, I think. That dog's favorite thing in the world is sandwiches. She has stolen more sandwiches right out of people's hands than I can count. And today she's gonna get one for lunch. And yeah, comment if you've had a dog with this diagnosis and how it's been for you. I'm always seeking more information. I wish I'd had more information in the beginning. It would have made a big difference to me to know that there was some hope. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up that their dog's going to live a year or more. But some people, I have heard of people who lose their dogs within a few days of diagnosis. It does happen, but I've heard of so many who've lived longer. So there is hope, but don't count on it, is what I'm trying to say. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll have another update in a couple months that she's doing well. I feel very blessed that I've had this 8 months. That is longer than most people get. And yeah, let me know. I would love to hear from people who, how has your journey been with your dog? So thanks for watching, and please